One thing I've noticed over the years is that many successful people were actually exceptionally skilled or gifted in the area they were successful in. Now, I need to be clear at this point. I'm not saying they didn't have talent and weren't good at what they did. My point here is that they weren't standout brilliant in a way that set them head and shoulders above everyone else. Yes, they were good at what they did, but there were many, many others who were similarly talented but had not achieved a comparable level of success. This of course leads on to the question, what then allowed these fairly normal individuals to excel? The one key thing that all these individuals seem to have in common is that they are consistent. They plug away day after day, week after week, month after month towards their goal. We do not normally see this side of them. We usually just come across the individuals when they're successful and think their success must have come because they are special in some way or have some amazing talent. While this may be true in some edge cases, it would seem for the vast majority they are fairly ordinary in their abilities but extraordinary in their consistency. When individuals are viewed by us as being successful simply because of their innate talents or abilities, we often, without even realising it, conclude that we can't succeed because we don't have these innate talents. This is limiting for us, and it is a belief that is caused by fundamentally wrong assumptions. The result is we end up missing out on developing a real-world superpower that is accessible to all. So the question that inevitably follows is, how can we develop consistency? Well, like many things, consistency begins in the mind. We need to start with a clear vision of what we want to achieve. When our why, in terms of our purpose for doing something, is strong enough, it becomes much easier to stick at that thing, especially when the going gets tough. Thus, the first and most important stage of improving consistency is to identify why you want to be more consistent in a given area. That might be because you want to fit into that wedding dress for next summer, so you need to control your eating to lose weight. Or it might be that you want to get into university, so you need good exam results this year, and that involves working hard. You need to be very clear on what your goal is. It needs to be strong, something you really want. It's a good idea to write the goal down, maybe put it on your fridge or bathroom mirror, and allow yourself to think on it regularly. Elite athletes often take time before a race or competition to close their eyes and imagine themselves performing well and having success. This is not some superstitious ritual that has no scientific basis. Rather, it is backed up by many studies that show that when people think on a goal and imagine being successful, they develop pathways in their brain that are then primed to make it more likely they will end up reaching their goal. Thus, once you have your goal clear, thinking about it regularly and seeing yourself achieving it will make it much more likely for you to remain consistent in the things you need to do to make it happen. Secondly, you need to watch carefully. You do not let self-doubt stop you from taking action. Self-doubt is something we all experience, and it can be a positive thing to help us reflect about what we need to improve and what our limits are. However, for the vast majority of us, that small voice in our heads that talks negatively to us about how incapable we are or how other people will maybe laugh at us for trying and failing often becomes so loud that it slows our momentum and eventually causes us to grind to a halt. We therefore need to control that voice, control the self-doubt, and keep it in its place. Thoughts, like weeds or fruit trees, all start as small seeds and grow in relation to how much we think on them. We need to be careful to focus on the seeds that will grow to produce good in our lives and make every effort as early as possible to pluck out the weeds, the ones that suck the goodness out of us. Finally, you simply have to be self-disciplined and make it happen. This can be a real challenge, but it's where the first two items already mentioned, having a clear goal and watching your self-doubt, really make the difference. You will oftentimes feel like you don't want to do what you know you need to do at this point to reach a crossroads. One way that leads you away from your goal and the other leads you towards it. Of course, the path that leads you away from your goal will likely be easier, and human nature naturally takes us in that direction. Here you have to actively push yourself to be disciplined, to do what you know is the better thing. The stronger your why, and the more you control your self-doubt, the easier it will be to walk the harder path. To be able to do this, you need to reach a point where you want the thing you want more than you want the comfort of the easy path. The hardest part in this process is taking the first step. And once you take the first step towards a better choice, it becomes easier until you face another crossroads. And that brings me on to how, over the longer term, when we are consistent, it leads us to forming habits, either good or bad. But that's a topic for another day. I hope this has helped you to appreciate how important consistency is in our lives, and if we want to achieve at even the most basic of levels, that this is a superpower that is within reach of all. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and please also click the bell icon so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Thanks very much.